Right, Microsoft's press conference from yesterday. Basically, I'm going to try and keep the details on each one of the games as minimal as possible. Basically, the main reason being I want to tackle each individual gaming company. Microsoft, I know, being their own in-house studios, but I'll put that all into one gaming video. But basically, the rundown of exactly what happened. They opened up with a Beatles rock band opening cinematic, release date of 9th of September. They did a live demo using Day Tripper. Interesting thing to note, basically 3 people singing. It looks like they're adding like 3-part harmonies, which is a nice touch for the music games. There's been promises of never heard studio chat being used in game, as basically you follow the Beatles through from the early days back in Liverpool all the way through their careers. They did a brief show of some of the tracks, which I'll outline in a future video. They showed first trailer, promised that there'll be downloadable content guaranteed, which you've got to expect with all the music games now anyway. You then had Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Yoko Ono, and I can't remember for the life of me what her first name is, but George Harrison's wife all came out on stage. Pretty pointless them actually coming out. It's basically every gaming developer's nightmare. They don't know anything about games, basically making comments about walking like an android, which I'm pretty sure didn't go down too well. But they were only out there for about a minute, and you've got to expect it when a game like that's coming out. You then had a little bit of a chat regarding All You Need Is Love, that's being released as downloadable content for the Beatles rock band game. All proceeds from that are actually going to be going to the Doctors Without Borders charity. We were then promised basically no business figures, chats, and the usual crap you get the big press conferences, which big plus to Microsoft for doing that. We then saw Tony Hawk come out to advertise Ride, the new Activision game. It's slightly different with this one, as they're actually releasing a new controller. And to be perfectly honest, the controller looks like crap. Basically looks like a miniaturized snowboard, but a lot smaller. Sensors are actually based on the board itself, so when you're doing your grabs and your kick flips and just like your standard skateboarding motion, it all picks it up. They then showed a trailer with the actual skateboarding pros using it. Seemed to go down, but obviously you've got to sort of go down well, but you've got to expect it when people were basically being used on demos. They then moved on to Infinity Ward with live Modern Warfare 2. They ran the trailer first, then did a live demo from it's like a mountain stage. You can see part of it in the actual trailer itself with the like the snowmobiles. Draw distance looks absolutely fantastic. All the details graphically look absolutely amazing. It looks like sort of an SAS section, and full of stealthy things. It looks like they've added sort of like scanners on the weapons itself, which is a nice new touch. Snowdrifts also on the level that they demoed, basically obscuring views, absolutely worked perfectly. Didn't really take anything away from the actual game itself, and seemed to just blend in as if it was a natural gaming effect. Even at this early stage, I can't really stress how good the game actually looks. The snowmobile section, which I've already mentioned, that was in the trailers, was then part of the actual demo itself. Small defects, even down to clothes rippling as the wind was basically blowing them. And they've also promised 2 map packs coming out on the 360 before any other console. We then saw the Final Fantasy 13 guys come out. Basically started off with the usual sort of history and sales figures and what have you. They then did a very short live demo, and they've actually tweaked the battle system from what was originally shown. I believe it was the last E3. I'll talk about it a little bit more in the actual Square Enix vid. Typical sort of Final Fantasy thing. You've got to expect decent looking graphics, and it didn't disappoint on those lines. And they're targeting a release date of spring 2010.